The opinions expressed in this program reflect only those of the participants and are not necessarily those of the sponsors, management, or staff of WTBQ Radio or FST Broadcasting Corporation.
WTBQ, feeling alright.
And good morning, and welcome to Health Matters. Why? Because your health does matter. My name is Peter Fallon. I'm the Director of Education at A&T Healthcare. And joining me this morning, unfortunately, is not my wife, Ann. She's back at the fort at A&T Healthcare corporate office in New City. She's not able to join us this morning. However, we do have a very wonderful guest. Her name is Elizabeth Magier. She's the field supervisor of the Foster Grandparent Program, and she's going to be telling us all about that. Liz, do you mind giving our listening audience of WTBQ a good morning greeting?
No, not a problem. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here today, Peter.
And thank you so much from your busy schedule and everything. We're dying to hear about the wonderful work that the Foster Grandparent Program does. A&T Healthcare, not to be confused with the telecommunication giant AT&T. I'm still a running joke, but it's serious. People are still calling up, say they'd like to pay their bills, please. I say, excuse me, no, isn't this AT&T? No, A&T for Antoinette and Tony. But we are home healthcare agencies. We have offices throughout the Hudson Valley, have one in Newburgh, Kingston. Our corporate office, as I said earlier, was in New City, New York. We do have one in New York City as well as in Jersey, and we're available. And one of the things that we are very honored at A&T Healthcare to be broadcasting every Thursday morning on health-related topics and subjects. Now, Liz, I just want to make sure that you understand that our show on Health Matters, it is not controversial, contentious, or confrontational, unlike this horrific presidential election that's going on, okay? We are engaging, informative, and we will be very entertaining. I'm so happy that you're here. Liz said that she will accept any questions that you may have on the particular topic, and the number that you can reach us at is 845 area code 651-1110. That's 845 area code 651-1110. And as always, thank you for making us a part of your Thursday morning. Wow, Thursday morning, here we are, all set. Where's the time going? I mean, I was talking to Taylor, and she's saying something about, I have to do that Christmas greeting, something, one of my memories. I said, Christmas, what are you talking about? And I said, oh, next week is November, and then we have Christmas. So I don't know where the year is going, but we're just happy we're here every Thursday from 10 to 11 to broadcast Health Matters. Okay, I just want to remind our listening audience that A&T Healthcare, we do have a PCA class, a personal care aid class for the Newburgh office. It's going to start on November 10th, and please call them up. Schedule an appointment for an interview. As I always say, this is a wonderful opportunity to get started in the healthcare field if you have the desire. There is no charge to take the course. However, it does take a certain kind of person, a special person, to be able to do this kind of work, and that's one of the things that we wanted to do. But it's a wonderful opportunity to start a career in healthcare. And as I said, just call our Newburgh office and they can set up an appointment. All right, it's a little cool today. You didn't have any trouble, Liz, coming in?
No, it was not a problem. I was just very surprised to see some flurries this morning when I walked out to my car.
Well, I tell you, I'm coming from Rockland, and I was here at 9 o'clock. I hope I wasn't bothering Dan Taylor or Frank much, because I was just kind of like hanging out, and I'm asking Dan all these questions and what have you. But anyway, I try to not get in the way. But anyway, I just want to make sure that we were here for the show. As we know, as the weather is changing, we want to always promote, one of the things that we do in Health Matters is always to promote a healthy lifestyle. One of the best ways to start is to get your flu shots, okay? Your flu shots. I always talk about this. There's a myth. I don't know, Liz, if anyone has ever said this to you, but if anyone ever says this to you, Liz, because every time I have a guest on, they say, oh, yeah, that's what they all say. They say, oh, I don't get the flu shot because every time I get the flu shot, I get the flu. Okay, so I wanted to, I want to tell you why that is not correct, because what happens is when you're getting a flu shot, guess what? The flu is out there. It's around. It's throughout the people that you're in contact with. So what happens is when you get the flu shot, it may take as long as 2 weeks before you actually get the effect of it. So in actuality, what happens is that if you did get the flu shot and you get the flu, it's because it had not built up its resistance for the flu virus at that time. It was poor timing and stuff like that. So please, if anyone ever says, no, I never get it because every time I get it, I get the flu. That's not true. You can't make any excuses, by the way. Oh, I don't have time to go. I don't have any time to go. They have it in ShopRite. They have it. I was young with Taylor. Why don't we have some set it up here or something like that, getting the flu shots? But the idea is that you have a lot of opportunities as far as being able to do it. I haven't gotten mine yet. I'm talking about.
I haven't gotten mine either.
Okay, it's very important in home care that you have to get it. I do remember last year I got it by default. I was in the doctor's office on an unrelated issue, and the nurse walks in. Would you like the flu shot? I said, oh, sure. I didn't even have to think anywhere. Nothing special. I was already there. But please, seriously, the flu shot is very important. It will not prevent you from getting the flu, but if you do get exposed to it, it will lower the severity of it. So I just want to really stress that as much as I can. I'd like to promote. There's going to be an event. It's for Caring Connection. Now, they've been a guest on Health Matters several times, and they're going to present Discharge Planning, a guide for family caregivers. And that's always important. We always stress that caregivers are the focal point a lot of time on caring for their loved ones. And many times what I find is that so often they are so concerned about taking care of the people who are ill that they don't take care of themselves. And as such, they become sicker than the people they're caring for. But we're talking about discharge planning when an individual is discharged from a hospital and what things are there. That's what the thrust is. It's going to be on Thursday, November 10th. At from 5:30 to 8:30, and it's going to be at the Hudson Valley Senior Residence, and that's 80 Washington Avenue, Kingston. There's limited seating, and registration is required. There's no charge for this, and A&T is one of the sponsors. I know I was one of the speakers there. I remember I did it on fall
seasonal affective disorder preventing.
That's right. Yes, that's it. So I was covering all the stuff on that. But anyway, it's going to be November 10th, and please. Go online, look at it, and then just see about going. The phone number that you can reach is, for Evelyn Flynn, it's 845 area code 901, and that's 5744. That's 845 area code 901 5744, Caring Connection, and you will see it. Okay, great. I think I covered all the stuff that I want to cover. But anyway, let's get started. As I said, we have Liz Magier, Elizabeth, but she...
I go by Liz.
By Liz, that's good. The field supervisor of the Foster Grandparent Program. And I thought, Liz, could you just tell our listening audience, tell us something about yourself, how you got involved in it, and that sort of stuff.
Sure, yes. I am a Hudson Valley native, so I was very excited to come back to the area after I went to school in Massachusetts for my undergraduate degree and my graduate degree.
Where did you go to school in Massachusetts?
I went to Clark University in Worcester, Massachusetts. Yes, so I was very eager to make my way back to the Hudson Valley. I went to Walk Hill Senior High School.
Okay.
And I was looking for a job that aligned more with some of my values. And I was very happy to find WestCop and the Foster Grandparent Program, where they are looking to place low-income seniors in the classroom environment where they're making a difference with kids. So when I found that job opportunity, I was very excited to interview and to be offered the position to work in 4 different counties, Ulster, Orange, Sullivan, and Dutchess. We also have Putnam and Westchester County, and we're working with seniors. I oversee about 80 seniors, 80 to 90 seniors, and we currently have about 160 seniors to about 180 seniors in the program working in between. I oversee 35 sites, but there are a total of about 70 sites between all 6 counties. So it's a very big program.
Right. No, and it's expanding and stuff like that. And when did it start? I was looking at 1965. Like, this isn't new. Like, I don't know where the time's going, but am I correct that this program started in 1965?
Yes, the program has been around since 1965. It was started as part of Lyndon Johnson's War on Poverty, and the program has grown and expanded. So it's actually a federal program. It's all over the United States, and we're just very lucky to have it here locally. So if we have a foster grandparent who starts in Orange County and they want to move to, say, Texas. I've had volunteers who have moved to Texas or somewhere in Georgia. I will make a phone call. I will find the local Office of the Aging wherever they're moving, and we can have our foster grandparent move and continue to be a foster grandparent.
Wow. That's going to be like one of the things we also are going to be touching on as we're talking about volunteering and, the health benefits and things like that can happen. And so we'll be covering that. Okay, you're listening to Health Matters, and when we come back, we're going to have Liz I'm sorry. I keep saying Liz Major. I'm going to slip. I might as well do it now and get it over. Lee Majors, I'm going to call you. I'm going to apologize now, okay?
No
but Liz Major, we'll be talking more with her on the foster grandparent program. You listen to Health Matters.
Hello, this is Tom Babington, Vice President of A&T Healthcare. A&T Healthcare, created in 1984 by two nurses, is a family-owned and operated home health agency managed by professional nurses. We have set the highest standards of quality care. A&T Healthcare provides a full range of in-home and private duty nursing services, from live-in to hourly home health aides and companions who can assist with basic daily care needs. We also have highly trained, experienced, and skilled nurses who are qualified to provide all levels of medical case management services. A&T also offers private duty home health aides, as well as private nurse placement for patients who are hospitalized and may have special needs or require extra attention. A&T Healthcare is dedicated to providing high-quality home health services for caregivers and families who are caring for loved ones at home with dignity. A&T provides home health services for newborns to seniors and is a New York State licensed service agency serving Rockland, Westchester, Orange, Dutchess, Putnam Green, Ulster, Sullivan, Nassau, and Suffolk counties, as well as the 5 boroughs of New York City and New Jersey. When you contact A&T Healthcare, one of their trained and dedicated skilled nursing professionals will provide you with answers to those complicated questions at the time when you truly need someone to take your hand and help you through the maze of healthcare. For more information, please visit our website, at-healthcare.com, or call 845-638-4342 and get the answers that will give you peace of mind.
Hi, I'm Mark Tracino, Director of Marketing for Crystal Run Health and the host of The Road to Transformation. Tune in every Tuesday at noon as we discuss health and doing good for our communities. Join me every Tuesday at noon on The Road to Transformation, right here on WTBQ.
Howdy, this is Cowgirl Chip.
And Cowboy Mark.
And we're here to tell you about Horse Talk.
8 a.m. every Saturday morning.
You'll find out the latest and the best information on horses.
11:10 a.m. and
93.5 FM.
WTBQ, feeling all right.
And welcome back to Health Matters. Why? Because your health does matter. My name is Peter Fella, and I'm the Director of Education at A&T Healthcare. And joining me this morning in the studio, mind you, is Liz Major, who is the Field Supervisor for the Foster Grandparent Program. And it has offices all throughout Hudson Valley. I always hate doing that. I'm going to forget one of the counties. I'll say Orange, Westchester, Ulster, Sullivan, Green. Are you in Green? Or,
No,
now
not
I'm
Green.
too far now. But anyway, we're going to be finding about all the fine work that is performed in the community on the Foster Grandparent Program. We're also going to be discussing the health benefits of volunteering. One of the things here at WTBQ and on Health Matters, why? Because your health does matter. Every time I say health matters, I got to put that in why, because your health does matter, is that we discuss we present innovative ways in which you can develop a healthy lifestyle. And one of the things we're going to talk about is volunteerism, is that it has surprising benefits when you're giving to others that makes you healthier and happier. I mean, everyone wants to be healthier and happier, but you don't realize there's a lot of benefits as far as volunteering, and we'll be going over and talking about this. I just want to tell a story how I met Liz. What happened was that for their group, she had contacted the Newburgh office, and they said, is there someone there that could do a presentation on seasonal affective disorders? And it was interesting because they had looked for us. That's one of the things that I do many times at A&T Healthcare. I'll speak at different locations, and it was such a delight to talk to the foster grandparents that were there. It was a fun one. They had all the questions. I do remember the time when I did speak at the Warwick Rotary Club. I'll never forget this. I was a guest speaker. And anyway, it got a little long, and they said, you have 15, 20 minutes tops, Peter. That's it. So anyway, I go up there, and then the guy who's in charge of it, he said, Peter, you got 9 minutes to talk. 9 minutes to talk, down from 20. And I was all over. But the thing was, they did give me a do-over, but Taylor was not at that meeting, because let me tell you, if Taylor was at that meeting, he said, no, he's going to do his presentation the way he planned on doing it. But anyway, it was just hard, but it was just a lot of fun doing it. And I think you're going to be scheduling me to talk to the other different groups that are there.
Yes.
Yeah, seasonal affective disorder. This sounds like a good show that we're going to have on Health Matters, because we're coming to that time. I think it's next weekend we fall back.
Change the clocks,
Yeah,
yes.
not this weekend, the following week we turn back the clock. Okay, great. Liz, tell us more about the foster grandparent program and WestCop. That's West and then capital COP, like WestCop as in police officer. And tell us about the mission statement that you have for your particular program.
Sure. WestCop is a wonderful organization. I'd like to talk about our mission statement, which is to mobilize and efficiently manage resources through partnerships and collaborations to help low-income and at-risk populations in the Hudson Valley region to achieve greater self-sufficiency. So what we do is we have $30 million coming from different government, private, and commercial resources throughout the Hudson Valley. We've been an organization that's been around since 1965, so as well as the foster grandparent program that's been around since 1965, so has our nonprofit organization. So whereas we have foster grandparents, that's one of our programs that's been around to help the community. We also have several community action programs. So we have 8 community action programs in Westchester County, as well as Rockland and Putnam. We have an early childhood program throughout all of Westchester County. So they're responsible for all of the Head Start programs in Westchester County, as well as Putnam. And we also have a veteran support services program, as well as victims assistance. So that helps survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. And we also have a weatherization program that helps people who are low income with their heating and their cooling. So I think I'm just so honored to be part of an organization that is so involved in helping the community, and to have this opportunity today to be on the radio speaking.
Really, and thank you. I was just going to say that's one of the things that we do at Health Matters is we want to educate our listening audience about things that are available that you might not realize. And that's what I think is so refreshing about doing Health Matters, is that we really are very much a part of the community. We are part of the community. We have an office all throughout Hudson Valley. But it was just something that I found out all this information on it. But tell me exactly, what exactly does the person do that's volunteering on the foster grandparent program?
Sure, yes. So we're looking for volunteers who are 55 and older. Their income for a family of 1 cannot exceed $23,540 annually.
Okay.
And for a family of 2, it cannot exceed $31,800, $860. And the requirement from the Corporation for National Community Service, that's the organization that funds our program, so they have all of these rules because they fund our program, so we have to follow them.
I mean, no, that's so true. Like even A&T Healthcare with Home Care Agency, we have a lot of the regulatory agencies that come in and inspect us, because whenever you're getting funding from the government, they want to make sure that they're getting their money's worth, and that's why you have to have like this standard. So that's a routine thing that we see all the time, but you have the same thing also
Yes, so
happening.
it's the same thing. So we have to follow these rules. It's very important. And the last rule is that the volunteers must serve a minimum of 15 hours in the classroom per week.
Okay.
So it may seem like a lot, and if you're listening right now thinking, oh, that might be a lot, I just recommend that you apply to the program, you give me a call. I'm sure we're going to give out my information at some point.
Absolutely, yes.
But give me a call. Fill out the application, give it a try, and if you don't like it and it's not for you, that's totally okay. I just recommend that you give it a try. The little kids are so cute. They're going to make you smile. It's going to be very worth it. And if it's not for you, then that's okay.
Yeah, and that's very important. We were talking, we will be covering like the volunteerism, the benefits, and a lot of times you want to look to see if you have like the right fit for it, and that's something that you can try. But there are numerous opportunities that are available. I'll probably talk a little bit more. I'm on the board of Meals on Wheels, and there's a lot of volunteerism that goes on there. Particularly delivering the meals. And I always remembered one of the things that I used to hear from one of the volunteers that delivered it. A lot of times, and this is unfortunate, they're like their only outside contact. So they'll come and deliver it, and the people just want to talk, because, hey, there's a person
they're
here.
lonely.
Yeah, and they're lonely like that. Now, when you say the 15 hours, Liz, how is that broken down? Is it how would the 15 hours be broken down?
Sure, that's a great question, Peter. So what we want is a mutually beneficial relationship between the senior volunteer and the teacher in the classroom. So it's going to have to match what is best for the senior and what is best for the teacher and the students in that classroom. So if you're a volunteer and you only want to be working in the school or serving in the school for two days a week, and that matches up with the teachers and the students' need, then you can be in the classroom for 7.5 hours, 2 days a week.
Wow.
Or if you
okay.
just want to be there for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, then you can do that. If you want to be in there in the morning, you're an early bird, then you can do that. If you want to do
there's a lot
5
of
hours
flexibility.
a day. Yes.
Okay. What exactly do they do with the young children? Tell me.
Yes.
They're tutoring, right? Is that it? Go ahead.
Yes, it's similar to the role of a teaching assistant, but they are a volunteer, and it's always important to remember for the senior that they are a volunteer. You're to take that role and remember that you are a volunteer, but you're in the role of a grandparent. So you're there, you're nurturing that child, you're there in a social and emotional role, you're tying shoelaces, you're teaching children how to eat well, eat appropriately. During mealtime, you're tying shoes, you're offering those emotional and social supports. You're reading to children a lot of the time, and you're correcting papers, you're correcting homework, you're teaching basic math skills.
Wow. Now, is there any kind of I have to say this really for my daughter, and I know Dan has your children and everything, but as far as like tutoring, I've never done that with, you used to the old story when I was in grammar school, it was like, the new math and that sort of stuff, but I've never really sat down and tutored my daughter or anything like that, just because I didn't have the knowledge of what was going on. How are they qualified in that context, or is it math, or what are the subjects that they're doing?
Well, the teacher is their role model for this. So
Okay.
the teacher is going to be the liaison for them in understanding what is the best fit for this foster grandparent in the program here. So these volunteers are not educators. These are just people who want to help in the community. So some of them have different skills. So it's better for the teacher to sort of ascertain what is the strong suit for this foster grandparent. And some of the foster grandparents are going out and they're playing basketball with the kids. Some of them are being emotional supporters, and some of them are just being read to. So the students are just reading to them. So it really is about the teacher finding what that best fit is. And some of our foster grandparents are excellent at math, and they are
Go for it.
doing the
Go
math
for
with
it.
the children. And I know it's been a challenge with some of the Common Core. So I do have my master's in public administration, so taking a look at the public policy work.
Yeah.
And Common Core is public policy, and
Yes.
breaking that down and trying to make it palpable for these foster grandparents and teaching them the little bits and pieces to make it accessible for them.
That sounds fantastic. I wish I had something like that for me, because on my math SAT, the score that I got, I'm taking that to my grave. No, that's classified information, and no one will ever find out those numbers. Okay, that's mine till the day I die. And really, I think that's somewhere. It's always great where you have. Something where someone is getting it, two people get it's like a synergistic effect. Everyone's benefiting from
Working
it.
together.
Working together. Oh, good. Now, it would be one student, or would it be two students?
The volunteers can help all of the children in the classroom, but according to our requirements from the federal government, we need paperwork onto specific students. So the goal is that the volunteers are matched with the most in-need students in the classroom. So I was actually doing site visits yesterday, and today I have one as well. And the volunteers are seated next to their students.
God, that is really. I'm learning so much from this. I'm like this is such a great program. We're going to say this throughout the show, but how can they reach you now, Liz? As far as like if they're interested in this, boy, I tell you,
Yes.
I'm 55. I could much more than 55.
Well, please give me a call. My number at the office, please call me or my director. I'm not there today, so call us. It's 914-592-5600, and my director is extension 114. That's Rosemary Barr. She's the director of the program. She's a wonderful boss and an incredible mentor, and I'm so lucky to be part of this program. And my extension is 107.
All right, and I did meet. When I gave the present, I really enjoyed that presentation. It was a lot of fun, and I know just as far as like when the questions got asked and all that, but they looked like wonderful individuals that were volunteering, and I know so much more about the program than I did. But now this is funded again from the federal government. Is that correct? In that,
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about this? Though? Are the foster grandparents are they paid anything? Is there any? I know it's volunteer, but is there any kind of stipend that they may be getting?
Yes, there is a stipend. So we are funded from the government. It's the Corporation for National Community Service. So I know a lot of listeners have probably heard of AmeriCorps, and that's typically volunteers who serve after natural disasters. So the other hand of AmeriCorps is Senior Corps. Now, we're part of Senior Corps, and there's two parts of Senior Corps. There's RSVP, Retired Senior Volunteer Program, and there's the Foster Grandparent Program. And we're funded from the Corporation for National Community Service, and our volunteers receive a tax-free and federally protected stipend of $2.65 an hour. So that's to offset the cost of volunteering. So I know it's not much, but you are volunteering, and it's a nice benefit. So if a lot of seniors, they're receiving their pensions, they're receiving Social Security, so it helps, and it doesn't count against any of your housing if you're living in a senior facility. So it really helps, and you get 45 cents a mile. And
you do get miles. Okay,
yeah, you
that's
do get
great.
mileage. We place you within 10 miles of where you live.
All right,
Yes.
great. Well, you're listening to Health Matters, and when we come back, we're going to have Liz Magier is going to talk more about the wonderful program of the Foster Grandparent Program. You are listening to Health Matters.
A&T Healthcare is a full-service home healthcare agency that works closely with your hospital discharge planner and other referral sources to ensure that all of you or your loved one's home healthcare needs are met. They provide short or long-term hourly or live-in home healthcare aides, LPNs, and highly trained and qualified nurses and therapists as needed. A&T Healthcare has earned a reputation for dependability, responsiveness, and personalized attention. By working in conjunction with nursing departments, HMOs, managed care insurance companies, and other referral sources, they act as facilitators in planning and anticipating patients' needs at home. A&T Healthcare hires the most qualified pediatric, high-tech RNs and LPNs. They provide care with the utmost compassion and sensitivity. A&T Healthcare are committed to providing their pediatric and adult patients with the highest standards of nursing care. By providing high-caliber, reliable nurses and high-quality service, A&T Healthcare consistently delivers more value for each dollar spent. Call 845-638-4342 or visit at-healthcare.com.
Hi, this is Marina Case of the Red Shutters in Warwick, New York. Tune in every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. for The Style Show, a show about decorating, fashion, and fun on WTBQ Radio worth listening to.
Hi, this is Orange County Executive Steve Newhouse. Join me and my guests every Monday on the Roundtable at 9 a.m. AM 1110, 93.5 FM, WTBQ.
WTBQ weather.
We have a wintry mix across the area, some snow, sleet, and freezing rain. There could be a coating to an inch or so in a few of the higher elevations as you go through the morning hours, but then it changes over to rain this afternoon. There'll be a fair amount of rain, too, later on. Highs in the low 40s. Tonight, showers and breezy. They'll taper off around midnight, heading into the upper 40s. Then for tomorrow, becoming mostly sunny and pleasant. Temperatures get into the low and middle 50s. Fair to partly cloudy tomorrow night in the 30s and sunny on Saturday, heading into the low 60s. From the WTBQ Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Tony Salima.
WTBQ, feeling all right.
Feeling all right. Welcome back to Health Matters. Why? Because your health does matter. My name is Peter Fallon. I'm the Director of Education at A&T Healthcare. And joining me this morning in the studio is Liz Magier, who's the Field Supervisor for the Foster Grandparent Program. Thank you for being here. Here's an easy question. I hope it's an easy question. Do you like that song, Feeling All Right by Joe Cocker?
I do like it, and I'm feeling all right.
That's it. I'm feeling all right. That's how it is. That's our mantra. That's our song. We just enjoy it. That's one of the questions. Right now, Ann, if you're listening, it's 100% every guest. Not one. I don't care for that song. I don't like. They all said that they liked it, but that's our theme song that we like to do about feeling all right, and that's what we want you to do: is feeling all right, listening to Health Matters. We are A&T Healthcare, and we are a home healthcare agency, and I want to remind everyone that if you are in the hospital and you're being discharged, that's really where A&T Healthcare comes by. And they're the ones that would, right now, they're discharging patients, as they say, quicker and sicker, but what's always important is that they have a safe venue going in the home setting where A&T can be there and provide the necessary services so you can have a very quick and strong recovery for whatever illness you might have had or any kind of surgery that you might have had. A&T Healthcare, it's from Annette and Tony. They were the two nurses who started A&T Healthcare, and not quite as long as the foster grandparent program. We've been 32 years. We've been in 1984 was when we had it. And I always talk about this so often on Health Matters is that, Antoinette and Tony, that they were not only visionaries, because that's really the healthcare paradigm, is that people are moving from getting out of the hospital sooner and quicker, not going in the nursing home, going in the home setting. Not only were they visionaries, but they were pioneers, because really back then, and you hardly saw anything, and now it seems like there's so much, but we've been doing it for a long time, and we're very proud of the work that we're doing, and we're very proud to be broadcasting Health Matters on WTBQ. So, having said that, we're continuing with the questions now. Is there any specific training that the volunteers would have to go before they could then be, paired up with a particular student?
Sure, yes. We have a pre-service orientation training that we do with the volunteers. So I sit with the volunteers for about an hour or two, and I explain the program to them in detail. We have a policy and procedure manual, and I go through the manual in detail with them. They meet with me before they go and interview at the school. So, of course, we have to make sure that it is a good fit. On our end, and then they meet with the principal or the site director at the school. So we either place volunteers at a K through 12 setting, or at a Head Start center, or at a nonprofit
what grades
daycare.
now? I'm sorry, what grades? All the way to high school?
Yes, we actually have some volunteers
working
in the high school, especially in Sullivan County.
So I could have used them then. Yeah, I could have used them when I was in high school.
Yeah, potentially.
Too late now, that's right.
Yes, we have volunteers up in Sullivan County working in the guidance office. And they utilize them very well. We have a principal up there in Sullivan County in the Liberty School District. He does a really wonderful job with the volunteers there. But we can place them in a variety of settings as long as we have understanding principals, superintendents who want them, but we can match them up very well.
But is there specific schools that are there that you have this relationship with them as far as doing? Yeah.
Yes, we have to set up a meeting. We have a document called a Memorandum of Understanding. So sometimes there is difficulty with getting the word out and matching up a need and the school and the volunteer. So it's kind of a question of the chicken or the egg. Do we have a volunteer first, or do we have a site first?
Right. Oh, but I tell you, it's just like such wonderful stuff that you're actually doing, and just like the benefits. And that's really one of the things about education. I know I'm going to talk like public policy now. It's my public policy now. But so often education is so important. And I always say this about nutrition. I know with the SNAP program is that people have to have nutritious breakfasts, because I even, like, imagine doing this show right now if you didn't have anything for breakfast. You have this thing gnawing away, and it's very hard for children to learn something if they're hungry. But education is so important because when you're educated, you're able to, get jobs and, those sort of things that go along with it. But it is always very important about having a good education. And sometimes people, don't have the luxury of being able to afford tutors or what have you. And having something like that could be just tremendous benefits. I can't stress that enough.
Absolutely. And I wish that there was more of an understanding sometimes of in the schools of wanting these foster grandparents more so, and trying to get the word out that we have this program available. We have these senior volunteers who have this plethora of knowledge and these years of experience that they can offer these children, and they want to be in the classroom with them, and they want to help, and they want to teach them. And it's an extra pair of eyes, and we're offering this to them. So sometimes there's a barrier of getting in to meet with the school and the principal and the superintendent and the Board of Education. So sometimes that can be a challenge.
Yeah. Okay, but I just think it's absolutely fabulous. I'm just curious. When I did the talk on the seasonal affective disorder, was that part of their continuing education that they have to have?
Yes, they're training. Yes, so we have trainings once a month in each of the counties, and
I was part of that, and
yes,
I'm going to be part of the other ones. I know. I know you're going to be you're
medication
queuing me up.
Safety.
Yes, that's the next one. We're going to be. I'm being queued up for another one, which is really I enjoy very much, as I said, and that's all part of A&T. Is like we are part of the community, and we want to do things like that as far as like educating. But it's always. How did you get that who thought of that topic? It was interesting. A lot of times people call me up, can you do a topic on such and such? I've done that topic on SAD, but I'm just curious, who was when they said, why don't we do something like this? And when I said about medication safety, you said, oh, that would really be good. So.
Yeah, we have regional training conferences for all of the foster grandparents, foster grandparent program directors, field supervisors, and AmeriCorps volunteers. So all of CNCS workers, we have regional training conferences. So I was in Hartford last year for the training conferences, and we were just talking about in-service trainings and topics for our foster grandparent volunteers, and that was one that came up. So I was searching for an excellent speaker, and I found my way to you.
Oh, thank you. No, I mean, I had done it a lot of times that people don't realize it and stuff like that, but that is important. I know even in the A&T healthcare is that our PCAs, our home health care aides, as well as our nurses, we have to have a continuing education that has to go on and then what's important about that is that you're committed to the field as well as knowing like all the nuances that are happening and how to care for that. But I just think it's so great. Could you give us the number again where they could reach you, or is there like a Google thing? I know they did that in the presidential debate. I used to just Google this and stuff like that. But tell us more about that.
Well, our website is westcop.org, and you can find us at Foster Grandparents. So westcop.org/foster grandparents. But please call us. Our number is 914-592-5600, extension 114 for our foster grandparent program director, Rosemary Barr. And if you want to talk to me, I'll be in the office tomorrow. My number is that same one, but at extension 107. And again, Liz Magier. And I cover Orange County, Ulster County, Sullivan County, and Dutchess County. But we also have Putnam and Westchester County. And that is my downstate field supervisor, my wonderful colleague, Arlette Javois. And she's extension 108.
Okay, no, that's great. Let's talk a little bit, Liz. Now, let's talk a little bit about the benefits of being a volunteer. Now, volunteering offers vital help to people in need, and that's true. Like the children, this is something that they have. They're not able to afford like a specific tutor, and a lot of worthwhile causes in the community. But a lot of times, the person who's doing the volunteering is getting the benefits themselves, and they're saying that volunteering and helping others can help you reduce stress, combat depression, even keep you mentally stimulated. I think that's always very important. I know we've had shows on Alzheimer's disease, and that the important thing is that you're using your mind. They have stuff like crossword puzzles or things like that. That's very beneficial to you. That you're stimulating your mind, you're thinking about it, and that's something that's very good. And it doesn't have to be like a long-term commitment. I think what you said, it's only 15 hours. And I thought what was very unique about it was that you can break it up however you want to do. You want to do it 3 hours, 5 days a week, or 2 days, 7 hours a week. Either way, you would be able to do it. But really, you have to remember there are tremendous benefits, and it's like what I said at the beginning of it is that volunteerism has the surprising benefits we're giving to others, and it'll make you healthier and happier. That's great. Healthier and happier. Let me go over a couple of the other things that we're hearing, and please, Liz, just tell us how you've seen stuff like this. But one of the things that they say about volunteering is that you connect with others, okay? Connects you to others. And one of the better known benefits of volunteering is the impact on the community, okay? Volunteering allows you to connect with the community and make it a better place. And that's what it is. Like you certainly are. When you say in the community, it's like you're covered all throughout Hudson Valley and what have you. So I think that that's something that is very important, and it increases your social and relationship skills, okay? Because you're dealing with, children or high school students or whatever, and there always has to be like that kind of, connection that goes on. The other thing is that volunteering is good for your mind and body, and I think I already touched on that a little bit, is that it helps you counteract the effects of stress, anger, and anxiety. A lot of stress with that election that's going on. I keep saying with the debates, there should be a warning. This can be very stressful. You're easily upset. Please, do not listen. Just read about it like the next day or whatever it is. But the idea is that the social contact aspect of helping and working with others does have an effect on your psychological well-being and relieves stress in a meaningful way. So there's so many things. I know we've been talking about the foster grandparent program, which is really as wonderful as possible. But as we said, there are other areas where you could actually be volunteering. I think I told you about Meals on Wheels. That's one of them that's been very, that's available. And I think Liz was already talking about it. trying this particular program, seeing if it's a good fit, it's something that you should really look at, okay? And that's it. But as I said, as you're retiring and stuff like that, it doesn't mean, gee, now you just sit down and you don't do anything. But there are a lot of the particular benefits that can happen. Now, what about if someone had? What happens if someone had limited mobility? Is that ever a problem, or?
No, actually, that's not a problem. We have some volunteers that are using walkers, and as long as the site is accessible, and most schools are handicap accessible. So as long as that's fine with the teacher and fine with the site, then that's not a problem.
Okay.
So.
No, that's good that you have something like that is available. They also say about volunteerism is that it can advance your career. And I don't want to confuse it with like an internship. I know when I was at the University of Rhode Island, that's why when I asked you what college you went to, I didn't know if you were one of our rivalries, but I do have this connection with New England. I know when you said Massachusetts, I hope it wasn't UMass or something like that.
No.
So, but one of the things is that, I did the work in the lab, and of course it was like volunteer work and that sort of stuff, but I did gain something, I did learn something, and I know when I was looking for a job, it was very beneficial. All right, well, we'll listen to Health Matters, and when we come back, we're going to continue to talk about the benefits of volunteering. You're listening to Health Matters.
Are you an RN or an LPN, caregiver or aide, and want to be part of a first-class, full-service home healthcare agency? Then call A&T Healthcare at 845-638-4342. High standards of care from pediatric to adult patients need your TLC. You are dependable, compassionate, honest, and sensitive to the needs of others. Whether you are highly skilled or wanting to learn, A&T has the finest training program in the tri-state area. And if you'd like to be part of the #1 home healthcare agency that makes a difference every day in so many lives, then call A&T Healthcare at 845-638-4342 today or visit at-healthcare.com.
Hi, this is Maria Stasola from Ye Old Warwick Bookshop in Greenwood Lake, here with my co-host,
Kevin Sweeney from the Windermere Agency.
We would love it if you would join us every Friday morning at 11 a.m. for Greenwood Lake Radio
on WTBQ.
This is Sister Anna. Listen to The Garden of the Child, a story discussion time with students. Story develops listening skills and imagination. Saturdays at 11:10 a.m. on WTBQ.
WTBQ, feeling all right.
I'm feeling all right, but I think I'd feel better if we had more time. I told you, Liz, I was not lying to you when I said this is going to be a very quick hour, and we're on our last segment. We've got a couple more things we want to cover, and we do want to talk about a safe Halloween, so we want to save a little bit of time at the end for safe Halloween. We want to touch all aspects of things that are happening. When we left before, we were talking about doing volunteer. Can it advance your careers? Now Liz, you had an interesting story you wanted to tell us. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. I was saying to Peter during the break that one of our volunteers, previously his career, he was working in art restoration, and then he served as a foster grandparent volunteer, and he was so wonderful at the school, they wanted to hire him full time.
That's great. That
down
is,
in Westchester.
That's how to do it. Like you're seeing the person and all this other stuff. Hey, would you like a job and all that? I've seen that. I did work with the Office for Persons with Developmental Disability, and there were times where they were doing volunteer work, and then all of a sudden, what happened was that they hired him. It said, no, now you're going to get paid, and they were so happy and all that stuff. Could you read the job description? We have a job description just so you can just listen to it and
Sure.
Go ahead.
So as a foster grandparent, you're going to help children in your community develop the academic and life skills that are critical to their development and future successes. You're going to share your time and experience. You can help children learn how to read, prepare younger students for school readiness, tackle tough subjects, and make decisions that keep them on the right path. We'll match your skills and passions to opportunities that interest you, including those in local schools, youth facilities, early childhood education, and nonprofit daycare centers.
Now that seems like a job that you'd like. That was very, very well read, and just like think about it. It's a great program. Again, how many volunteers do you have again? I know you said at the beginning of the show.
Sure. In the upstate counties of Dutchess, Orange, Ulster, and Sullivan, we have about 80 to 90 volunteers. We're always looking for more volunteers, so please call. I would love to talk to you. And in the downstate counties, it's about the same. So for about a total of 180 volunteers.
Okay. I just wanted to continue, this is from the United Way about, some of the benefits of volunteering, and that's part of what our theme is, and we give a wonderful organization as far as being able to do it. But one of the things, they have like 4 things: growth, enrichment, learning, and friendship. But by growth, by volunteering with an ongoing program, volunteers see growth and change. Whether working with children who are learning to read or adults who are developing trust with their peers, volunteers can actually watch growth among the clients over time. So you can see like the improvement, I'm sure, as they're mentoring them and helping them with their class and seeing their grades go up. And sorry I didn't have that when I was in high school, but anyway, I'm here now. Enrichment, they talk about there's nothing more fulfilling than realizing how much of an impact a volunteer can make. Volunteers working together to build a children's playground or low-cost housing for needy families can later visit these sites and see how their project has enriched the neighborhood. Okay, so I think that's another really nice thing. Learning, volunteer opportunities often allow people to try new activities or learn new skills. And for example, when an accountant volunteers to help cook a holiday dinner at a homeless shelter, he walks away with not only a few cooking tips, but also the knowledge to help keep food at a safe temperature and how to serve large groups. I'm always thinking about our next show on Health Matters, but we want to get one of those shows for Thanksgiving, okay? So that's something that we want to educate. And then, of course, friendships. We talk about when like-minded people get together, friendships are formed. After working as a volunteer project for a few weeks, it is not uncommon for volunteers to exchange phone numbers or social media information. By giving just a few hours a week, lifetime friendships may be established. And that's really what's important about like the socialization. I think I touched on it before, where we said at Meals on Wheels, sometimes when they bring the food's there, that's really one of the few contacts that they have with the people. Now, can you share any other stories? I thought that was a very good thing about how the volunteers are, and like do they see all this stuff? Kind of like
Absolutely, undoubtedly. I mean, I get cards around the holiday time that say, "Thank you, Liz. I feel like I've come back to life since I've joined this program." I interviewed a woman for the program a few years ago whose husband had just passed away, and she was in tears when I had met with her, and she just loves being with the children. They just say it makes them feel like they have a purpose every day, and what could be better than that? And I just want to share another quick story about a volunteer that was in the mall in the Poughkeepsie Galleria. She's a volunteer over in Dutchess County, and Grandma Mary was walking through the mall, and she works at a school, and she's currently in 5th grade, and she was in the 1st grade for a long time. And she's walking through the mall, and she hears, "Grandma Mary, Grandma Mary." And it's this big teenage boy, and he runs up to her, and he's like, "Remember me?" She's looking at him.
Gosh.
She doesn't remember. And he's like, "Grandma Mary, you taught me how to read."
Oh,
and she's
what a
like,
story.
Oh. And he tells her his name, and she's like, "Oh, yes, I remember." And he's like, "Well, I just wanted to say hi, Grandma Mary. I hope you're doing well, but I'm going to go back with my friends." But that just demonstrates, I think, the impact of this program, that a teenage boy is going to remember Grandma Mary teaching him how to read and wants to say hi, so much so, and then show that love and affection, and then goes back.
So let me use that, and you look a lot different and all that. That is this pales, but it happens so often when I teach a class. 3 years from now, I see one of my former students. "Oh, hey, hi, Peter, how are you?" You remember? And I always had the expressions that it was trained by Peter. I always said that you don't buy a new pair of jeans. Inspected by so and so, because I was the only one that did it. So after I've trained you, when you're out there, I was the one that trained you, and I said, "Don't ever remember that." I took a lot of pride whenever I train anyone. And we do have a class reminder in November. Just call up the Newburgh office, and we can set up an appointment to interview and then possibly be in the class. And then you can see me in person as I'm teaching it all.
There you go.
This was great. Give us the contact information one more time, and then we're going to have... go ahead.
Sure. Please call. It's 914-592 5600 extension 114 to get an application to join the Foster Grandparent Program. Volunteer receive a tax-free and federally protected stipend.
Okay, so you do get paid, and even like if you do have ambulation, or if you need a walker, there's always ways that they can do it, and really they're there to accommodate you as best you can. And as I said, you will be reaping the benefits, and I think that's always important. That's part of what we were saying about volunteers. Like, don't be just hanging around, but when you're socializing with people, there's so much thing, as we said. Volunteers can make you even healthier and happier, and that's what we all want. Oh, this would be great. Now, do you mind sticking around? I thought, Liz, that I wanted to do something. As you know, health matters. Your health does matter. We always look at what's happening, and I want you to know just a little preview, but next month is National Home Health Care Month, and we're going to have a big story on that, a nice show we're planning for the 10th. And I think that it's important, but we always try to look at other things that are going on. But as we know, Halloween is coming up. It's going to be on Monday. No, Dan, this isn't my costume. Dan thinks I came in with my costume. No, this is how I normally look. Okay. But anyway, we want to make sure, this is from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and there we always talk about it. But these are Halloween health and safety tips. Okay. So what it is they spelt out safe Halloween. Okay, safe Halloween. So I'm going to start it, and then we'll go back and forth. The first one is S. Swords, knives, and other costume accessories should be short, soft, and flexible.
A. Avoid trick-or-treating alone. Walk in groups or with a trusted adult.
Trusted adult, okay. F. Fasten reflective tape to costumes and bags to help drivers see you. Now, that was the one thing we're talking about, turning back the clocks and everything. We didn't turn back the clocks yet, but it's still very dark at that time.
E. Examine all treats for choking hazards and tampering before eating them. Limit the amount of treats you eat.
Okay, be careful with the sugar and all that. H. Now we're on the H now. H. Hold a flashlight with trick-or-treating to help you see and others see you. Walk and don't run from house to house.
A. Always test makeup in small areas first. Remove it before bedtime to prevent possible skin and eye irritation.
Yeah, the people get into that. They have all this stuff. They're putting these gunky things on, and oh boy, you got to be careful. L. Look both ways before crossing the street. Use crosswalks wherever possible.
Yep, very important. Another L. Lower your risk for serious eye injury by not wearing decorative contact lenses.
I didn't even know they had decorative contact. I think I do remember someone wanted to be vain. They could put on like the one at Blue Eyes, so they'd have these things. But I didn't even.
Yeah, my little sister used to do that all the time.
Only walk on sidewalks wherever possible or as far from the edge of the road facing traffic to stay safe.
W. Wear well-fitting masks, costumes, and shoes to avoid blocked vision, trips, and falls.
Okay. E. Eat only factory-wrapped treats. Avoid eating homemade treats made by strangers. That's what we say. You really should just be staying where you live and all.
Yeah, ooh, that is spooky. Enter homes only if you're with a trusted adult. Only visit well-lit houses and never accept rides from strangers.
That's right, absolutely. And then N, never walk near lit candles or luminaries. Be sure to wear flame-resistant costumes. So this is what Halloween's. It's a fun time, but you want it to be safe. And always remember, people that are driving, I want to make sure that people, trick-or-treaters will be out there. Drive cautiously. Be careful with that, okay? We want everyone to have a good time on it. Liz, it's been so great having you as a guest
thank
on
you for
Health
having
Matters.
me.
I always put my guests on the spot, but may we have you again? And I thought if maybe we had one of the volunteers, if they would like to join us, I thought that could be a very good show.
One of them would love
and they
it.
can talk about their experience, what they're doing, okay? We got something right down the line. I think that would be terrific.
That'd be perfect.
Thank you so much. I do want to remind everyone about the Caring Connection, discharge planning, a guide for family caregiving, and all you need to know about the transition from a facility to the home. Okay, as I said, the discharge planning, see that you have home health care that's involved in it, because that always would be very important as far as doing it. I had another thing that I had forgot to mention, and this is one of our things. I'm going to do this quickly, but they're saying, and this is one of the little fillers that I always do, but due to rising out-of-pocket medical expenses, 1 in 3 employees avoid important actions such as visiting a doctor, having surgery, or filling a prescription, okay? So they get concerned about the out-of-pocket money, that sort of stuff, and they're not doing it, and that's one of the things that we talked about in the last show, because October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, about the importance of screening, seeing your doctor on a regular basis. So please be careful. Your health is very important. All right, I'm looking at the time. As I always say when I end the show, Liz, is that stay healthy. Why? Because your health matters.
Health matters.
To you, your family and friends, I wish you all the best, and we will see you next week on Health Matters, 10 o'clock. All the best. Bye-bye.